You have to stop chasing money because money is not something that you can chase, right? Money is something that needs to be attracted. And so for me, the longest time, I learned this lesson over time is like when you are trying to make money, you want more money, you want more abundance in your life. It's really not about chasing as much as it is about creating the kind of person who attracts. It's the same thing when it comes to girls, same thing when it comes to women, right? You don't ever succeed when it comes to women when you are just chasing constantly and being a needy, you know, just a needy guy. It doesn't ever work. And the same thing I think applies when it comes to money. I think what you really need to focus on is becoming that kind of person who detaches from the outcome so that he can actually receive it. It's really about law of detachment, right? Law of detachment basically states when you really want an external outcome, it could be a physique, it could be, a girl, it could be a certain amount of money. The key to getting it is detaching from that outcome in the sense that it's not that you don't want it anymore, it's not that you're not interested in it. What it is that you aren't focused so much on the outcome and on that end state as much as you're interested in the action that needs to be taken every single day to get there. So, just as a simple example, if we want to build the best physique we can, if we want to get ripped, we want to get absolutely jacked, do we focus on that end state and just think about it constantly? Or do we set up a system and set up daily habits and think about those? In my opinion, it makes way more sense to do that. So, for example, and this is what I've done to get to where I'm at, is instead of focusing so much on that end state, you focus more on the daily habits that bring you to that end state. It's not that I don't think about, oh yeah, I want to have, six pack abs. It's not that I don't think about that, or it's not that we don't set that as a goal. But once that goal is set, you must shift your focus from just, oh, I want to have a six pack to, okay, what actions do we need to take on a daily basis to get the six pack? And so this all applies because money is the same way. You want money, but money is a byproduct of the value that you provide to society. Money is a byproduct of the lives that you change. And so for me, the longest time, I was always chasing money, right? Trying to, build a business online and become successful. I tried all these different things. I tried, drop shipping. I tried Amazon. I tried, becoming a real estate agent at one point. I've tried so many different things, but the common denominator is that none of those things sat well with me because I was so focused on the end outcome instead of the actions that need to be taken that I could never be successful. Because instead of being consistent with those actions for long enough, just like when you're trying to build that physique, you need to be consistent with your macros. You need to be consistent with your training in the gym. Otherwise, you're not going to get to where you want to go. And what I realized over time was money is really something that you must attract by the person that you are and the value that you're providing to society. You get paid in proportion to the value that you provide. So if you're changing lots of lives, you're going to make lots of money, bro. It comes hand in hand. So instead of focusing on that end state of, oh, I want to make a bunch of money, focus on the inputs, focus on the actions and the daily habits that you need to get there. Focus on changing lives if you want to make a lot of money. Focus on putting in that extra work at your, career, your profession if you want to make a lot of money. Stop focusing on that end state so much. The other thing is, I think it's really important as men that we find that job or that business that aligns with our purpose. Because when I was trying all these different businesses online, I was trying to do Amazon FBA and drop shipping and becoming a real estate agent. What I realized was I asked myself, look, am I just doing this for money? Because if I am, if I had $1,000,000, would I continue to do this business? Would I continue to want to drop ship products? And the answer was no. Hell no. If I had all the money and I had all the external things I needed, if I had all these things, would I continue to do what I'm doing? The answer was no. And so therefore, I was just doing it for money, which means you'll never really be as successful as you could be because it's not in alignment with your purpose. So ask yourself that question. Is your current business, is your current career, would you do that if you had all the money and all the external things that you think you need? Would you do that if you were, had $1,000,000, you never needed to work again? What would you do with your day? If you never needed to work again because you had all the money you needed, what would you do with your day? And once you answer that question, once you find that thing, that's what you need to focus on. That's what you need to do every day because that is your purpose. That is what you're being called to do. And so for me, when I thought about it, what would I continue to do every single day? What would I continue to do every single day to provide value for people if I had all the money I ever needed? And the answer was very clear. The answer was to share what worked for me on my journey to share my personal development, to help people stay disciplined, to help keep people with their mindset, to help them, continue to build the physique that they want, to stay fit. And this was what I realized was the personal development work is what I wanted to do. No matter how much money I had, it would be what I would still want to be doing on a daily basis, because that's what changed my life. What changed my life was getting into this lifestyle of personal development. And so therefore, that is what I would want to continue to preach and share and try to help change people and convert people onto that lifestyle, no matter how much money I had, because it has nothing to do with the amount of money. It's so impactful when you get on this lifestyle that there's nothing better. You can be broke and still be living this life and feel like you have $1 million, because your internal state is so strong, your internal state is so just locked in on your purpose that you don't need anything else. You don't need all these external things. So that's what I realized I needed to do. And that's why I started this YouTube channel. That's why I started doing my Instagram, is because I realized that's the effect I want to have on the world. And that's what I feel called to do, at least for now, like in terms of my purpose. So find that thing where if you had endless amounts of money, you would still want to wake up and do it every day, because that is where you're going to have the most impact, and that's where you're most aligned. Then that second thing is just to remember and understand, you don't chase money. You provide value, you change people's lives, and then the money comes. Okay? Don't try to do this whole thing in your mindset where you're like, oh, I want to get a bunch of money, and you're just constantly thinking about money. So much so that you forget that the way you get money, bro, is you change people's fucking lives. That's what it's about. And so right now on my journey, I'm not rich. I always keep it 100 with you guys. I'm not rich, nowhere near it. I'm pretty much broke, right? And well, I mean, I guess you could say that. I have skills, right, that make money, but I'm nowhere near where I want to be in terms of my entrepreneurship journey, and I'm still working on that and leveling up. But when I do eventually hit 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K a month, you have to understand that the material things that you want to buy, right? Those cars, the houses, those things, you will get them, but it's not going to be enough, because when you get those things, okay, great, but what's going to motivate you to keep going? Now you have all the material objects that you wanted. Now you've got the status, you can go on vacation, you can do all these things. What's going to motivate you? And that is when you have to understand that it's not about money. Money is just a byproduct. Money is just a tool. But what's really going to motivate you is your mission. And this is why I say you need to find that thing that you would do regardless of money. Because look, what's going to motivate me to keep going when I hit 10, 20, 30K, 40K, 50K, maybe even 100K a month, it's not going to be money anymore, because I can use that money to go on vacation and buy all the cool shit I want. It's not going to be about that. What it's going to be about is changing lives. I'm still going to want to change lives. If I could literally get every human being to live the lifestyle that I live, I would do it. I would do it 100%. And so that's my mission. And you got to find that, bro. You have to find that mission, because if you're just chasing money, if you're just doing your job for money, if you're just doing that business for money, you're not really locked in. You're not in alignment. It's not going to bring you where you really need to go. So those things are probably the biggest lessons I've learned on my journey to becoming a successful entrepreneur, on my journey to trying to find my purpose and work that fulfills me every single day, is you must find that thing that you would do regardless of money, that thing that you feel motivated to do because it would change the world, because you're solving a problem so big that it would literally help humanity elevate. You think about people like, Tesla, these great inventors, Thomas Edison, these kind of people. They weren't sitting there like, oh, I want to make money. Yeah, they wanted to make enough money to keep their inventions and things going. But their inventions bring electricity to the world. They knew that this would elevate the human species. And so they were so focused on helping the human race elevate that was their mission. And then the money was just kind of a byproduct. It just happened, right? They just became like, some of the richest people because of the fact that they solved such a big problem. But their focus wasn't on the money. It was law of detachment. They weren't focusing on the money as much as they were the value in changing lives. And that's how it has to be done. You must have a big problem that you're trying to solve that changes many, many lives in a positive way and provides value and alleviates pain. And you focus on that every single day, and you focus on performing that and doing that every single day and putting in the work to change people's lives, and the money will come. And then eventually you realize, I'm not even there yet, but I can already forecast and see this when I look back on this video, is that when I get the amount of money, it's not even going to really matter anymore, because I'll just be able to get, like what are you going to do with a few $1 million? Like, what are you going to do? Just buy more houses and buy more cars and buy more shit? Like, eventually you're going to run out of, you're not going to need any more money for anything, bro. So you need to lock in what is beyond the money, what is beyond the materialism. And it's helping the human race elevate. It's helping the human race elevate to a higher level of consciousness. And how do we do that? We do that through personal development. That's why I preach personal development. Because if every human being, imagine this, just imagine, every person quit their vices, stop watching porn, got off alcohol, stop smoking, stop eating shit food, every person was working out, staying disciplined, had a great attitude and great action every day. Imagine how much better the world would be. How much better each one of our lives would be just interacting with those people. And so when you have this mission to preach personal development and to change lives via personal development, that is why I'm so inspired to do this. That's why I'm so motivated every day. And it doesn't matter. Even if I'm not making money, I still continue to do it. Even if I'm not getting rich off of it, I still continue to do it because this is what I feel called to do. So just think about that, man. Stop chasing money, chase changing lives, and then the money will come. And I also want to make this video for my future self because when I get to that point of making a lot of money and I've changed a lot of lives, I want myself to remember. And if you're watching this, bro, from the future, remember the reason you got into this was because personal development is what changed your life. It helped you go from that guy who had no confidence, who didn't have a girl, who was addicted to alcohol and porn and weed and video games and living a completely undisciplined life, didn't like his physique, didn't like himself, into a man that he could actually respect and that other people could now follow and look up to and admire. See, everyone's so obsessed with, oh, I want to make money, bro. I'm chasing money so that I can get what I want, the material, the girl, the cars, the fancy house. But the reality is, bro, it's not about that. It's about you becoming the highest version of yourself and changing as many lives as possible so you can be an example of a man in today's modern world that other people can follow, that other people can see is successful. And then they start to follow your daily habits. They start to follow your disciplined way. And we all together, through this movement of becoming disciplined men, now show a better path for the rest of the world to follow, and we can help to elevate human consciousness so we can reach a new level as a species, right? We're not dealing with all this bullshit anymore. We're not walking around with all these fat people out here who are literally killing themselves and being horrible examples to their family and being a burden upon society. We're not walking around anymore with these alcoholics who are just destroying themselves and their families around them. We're not walking around anymore with people who have low confidence and low self-esteem and hate themselves, because they're actually able to love themselves through their routine every day and through doing the habits that elevate them to a higher level of consciousness. So stop chasing money, bro. Focus on changing lives, and the money will come. And find that thing that you feel, no matter how much money you made or how much money was in your bank account, regardless of how much shit you had, how much material things you had, you think you want, the cars and everything that would give you all the status, that you would still wake up passionate to do every fucking day. When you find that thing, you are in alignment and you are chasing your purpose. So when you find that thing, when you feel a connection to that thing, you need to get on that as quick as possible. Quit your job, go all in, do whatever you got to do to get in alignment with that path, and you will see success.